Hello, BBN. This might be unexpected, something that no one really considers, but some are betting that Jasper is heading to Kentucky, while others are leaning towards Alabama. But no, I don't think anyone really considers this. Let's dive into the latest updates, but first, make sure to subscribe for more news. Jasper Johnson, one of the most sought-after prospects in the 2025 class, is on the verge of making a decision that could shape the trajectory of his college basketball career. With a shortlist that includes heavyweights like the Kentucky Wildcats, Alabama Crimson Tide, North Carolina Tar Heels, Louisville Cardinals, and Arkansas Razorbacks, the speculation is in full swing. Amidst all these possibilities, the race seems tighter than ever, with Kentucky and Alabama emerging as the leading contenders. So, what's it going to be? Recently, there has been a resurgence of hope for the Wildcats, with head coach Mark Pope showing that Kentucky's tradition and recruiting power are still as strong as ever. Jasper Johnson's decision is being closely monitored by experts, and in recent weeks, Kentucky has managed to regain ground that seemed lost to Alabama and North Carolina. This is particularly notable following Malachi Moreno's commitment to the Wildcats, which has given the program a new boost and may have influenced Johnson to reconsider Kentucky as a viable option. Jacob Polachek of KSR recently pointed out that, despite Alabama leading the race for a while, Kentucky is making a strong and late push. This resilience, typical of Kentucky's program, reinforces the idea that Mark Pope's team is not just still relevant, but remains a dominant force in elite recruiting. Moreno's commitment could have been a key factor in reigniting Johnson's interest in Kentucky, making this final stretch of his recruitment even more intriguing. On the other hand, Jamie Shaw from On3 emphasizes that, while Kentucky has regained some lost ground, Alabama remains a significant threat. He reports that sources close to the recruitment are still vigilant about the possibility of a final push from Alabama, which cannot be ruled out, especially considering Crimson Tide's recent track record of attracting top-tier talent. However, what's really grabbing attention is a comment from Aaron Torres of Fox Sports. In his podcast, Torres mentioned that, in his opinion, Kentucky is now in the lead to secure Johnson's commitment. If this turns out to be true, it would be a major victory for Mark Pope, who, despite being relatively new at the helm of the Wildcats, is already showing that he can keep the program at the top of college basketball. Johnson's decision is something that everyone is watching closely, not just in Kentucky. At Kentucky, he would join a storied lineage of guards who have found success both in the NCAA and at the professional level. The connection with in-state players like Moreno could be a determining factor that tips the scales in favor of the Wildcats. If Kentucky is indeed Johnson's choice, it would be a monumental win for Mark Pope and his staff, reaffirming that the program is still capable of competing with the nation's biggest powerhouses for elite talent. Moreover, it would ensure that the Wildcats continue to be a preferred destination for players who not only seek collegiate success, but also a solid platform for a future NBA career. I'm not sure where this guy is headed. Do you want me to bet? I'd say the Wildcats. But let's wait and see. And Malachi Moreno's addition could definitely make a big difference. Could it? Let's see. The atmosphere in Lexington is one of optimism and anticipation, especially if Jasper signs with us. The recent confirmation of Malachi Moreno as the first commitment for the Wildcats' 2025 class suggests that the future could be just as bright as the recent past. Moreno, a rising player who is vying for the title of best center in his class, is already playing a crucial role off the court, acting as an informal recruiter for the program. His current target? Jasper Johnson, the five-star guard who is among the most coveted prospects in the 2025 class. Johnson, currently playing with Overtime Elite in Atlanta, is a native of the Bluegrass State, which makes the possibility of him joining Moreno at Kentucky even more real. That's why we're addressing now the factor that could indeed influence Jasper's decision. The task of convincing Johnson to follow in Moreno's footsteps and choose Kentucky is no easy feat, especially with programs like Alabama in the mix, as I've mentioned. But Kentucky has always been a top destination for the best recruits, thanks in part to the nil power that the university offers. The arrival of Moreno and the potential addition of Johnson to the 2025 roster are significant steps for Pope and his coaching staff. If they succeed, it wouldn't just strengthen the recruiting class. It would be sensational, and the BBN would absolutely love it. And speaking of which, the narrative of keeping a local player like Johnson at home, wearing the Wildcats blue and white, is one that deeply resonates with the fan base and the program's identity. For Johnson, joining Moreno and the Kentucky tradition would be a return to his roots and an opportunity to write his own chapter in the rich history of Wildcats basketball. With Mark Pope at the helm, Kentucky is showing that it still has the ability to attract top talent. Moreno's active involvement in recruiting Johnson only reinforces the idea that players are buying into Pope's vision and are willing to invest not just in their college careers, but also in helping to build something special in Lexington. Let's move forward, folks. After all, let's dream big and achieve victory for real. The 2025 NBA season is fast approaching, and expectations are high, especially for fans of the Kentucky Wildcats. With two former Wildcats, Reed Sheppard and Robert Dillingham, poised to compete for the Rookie of the Year award, the Big Blue Nation has plenty of reasons to be excited. Though the painful early exit from the NCAA tournament is still a fresh memory, there's a sense of redemption in the air as these two talents prepare to shine on the professional stage. Reed Sheppard, the prodigy from North Laurel High School, wasted no time proving his worth during the Summer League, quickly emerging as one of the leading candidates for the Rookie of the Year award. His consistent performances and ability to impact the game on both ends of the court have made him a favorite among sportsbooks like DraftKings, where he currently holds an impressive plus 700 odds, matched only by Zach Edey. For a young man who not long ago was thrilling Kentucky fans with his dynamic play, this meteoric rise is not just impressive, but also a testament to the potential he has always shown. On the other hand, Robert Dillingham, another talented product of the Wildcats, enters the race with plus 1,700 odds, a position that many experts consider undervalued, given his ability to score in bunches. Dillingham, who dazzled an overtime elite before his time at Kentucky, has a playing style that seems perfectly suited to the fast-paced, extended games of the NBA. His ability to create his own shots, coupled with an unshakable confidence, makes him a constant threat on any given night and could very well put him in the running for the award, surprising those who continue to underestimate him. The last time a Wildcat took home the coveted Rookie of the Year award was in 2016, with Karl-Anthony Towns dominating the league in his first year. Since then, many former Wildcats have made their marks in the NBA, but the award has eluded the Big Blue Nation. However, with Sheppard and Dillingham among this season's top contenders, that drought may finally be coming to an end. Sheppard, with his well-rounded game and maturity beyond his years, represents Kentucky's best hope of reclaiming the trophy. He has already shown that he can quickly adapt to the professional level, and his ability to make a difference in various aspects of the game makes him a natural choice for the award. Moreover, being a local product, a kid who grew up under the watchful eyes of Kentucky fans, only adds to the appeal and the groundswell of support for his success. Dillingham, for his part, brings an electricity to the game that few can match. His ability to take control of a game and score from anywhere on the court puts him in a unique position to impress the award's voters. If he can maintain his pace and continue to evolve, it wouldn't be surprising to see him climb the ranks of favorites as the season progresses. The transition from Calipari to Pope may have raised some questions, but with players like Sheppard and Dillingham now on the professional stage, it's clear that the Wildcats' legacy of excellence is in good hands. As the season unfolds, all eyes will be on Sheppard and Dillingham, waiting to see who will rise to the occasion and bring home the award. Regardless of the final outcome, it's undeniable that both have the potential to make an incredible impact in the NBA. and that, in itself, is already a win for Kentucky. And Pope? This guy is the pride of BBN. Let's go. The arrival of Mark Pope as the head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats basketball program is undoubtedly one of the most intriguing and potentially transformative moves of this college basketball offseason. When John Calipari decided to pursue new challenges at Arkansas, many wondered who could fill his shoes. Kentucky didn't waste any time and, after considering names like Dan Hurley and Scott Drew, the choice fell on Pope, who has already made an immediate impact in Lexington. The initial acclaim was fantastic. At his introductory press conference, Rupp Arena was packed, signaling not just the excitement of the BBN, but also the recognition that a new era was beginning. The warm reception, however, gave way to cautious expectation. The BBN is now eagerly waiting to see how this new chapter unfolds on the court. The early signs are encouraging. In a recent CBS Sports poll conducted by Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander, where coaches from across the country shared their opinions anonymously, Pope was ranked as the third-best high-profile coaching hire for the 2024-25 season. He received 8.5% of the votes, which is a solid position for someone many considered a risky bet. Comments from his peers reflect a deep respect for his capabilities. One coach, in particular, highlighted Pope's understated yet effective approach, describing him as someone who doesn't relentlessly seek the spotlight but lets his work speak for itself. He doesn't make many excuses. Basketball is what drives him, the coach commented. This description seems to capture the essence of the Wildcats' new leader well, a focused, strategic, and above all, competent coach. Pope is widely recognized for his accurate talent assessment and advanced offensive vision. His ability to use his roster in a surgical manner, maximizing individual strengths and making his team difficult to defend, has been widely praised. Everyone on the court is really good at something, and they'll buy into that role, noted one of the interviewed coaches. This observation is particularly relevant for a team like Kentucky, which historically relies on players' ability to accept and excel in specific roles. Another interesting point of discussion was recruiting. While Calipari was a master at dominating recruiting rankings, maximizing the NIL era, some suggest that Pope might not have the same immediate impact in this area. However, there is no doubt that he will bring in talented players and, most importantly, win games. He'll be great there. And he really is a brilliant offensive coach, another coach stated, suggesting that the BBN can expect not just winning basketball but also exciting to watch. These assessments reflect an underlying confidence in Pope's ability to thrive in one of college basketball's most challenging environments. Kentucky, like any elite program, demands not just victories but also a style of play that captivates fans and attracts the country's top talent. Pope seems to be the right man for the job, balancing a meticulous tactical approach with a modern offensive vision. Fans hope he not only maintains the standard of excellence set by his predecessors, but also brings a new energy to the program. It will undoubtedly be a year of transition, but with Pope at the helm, there's a growing sense that Kentucky can not only survive Calipari's departure but also thrive in a new era of success and innovation. This year is going to be a winning one for basketball. Want to bet? But first, subscribe and now on to football.
And how about Kentucky football? Will it impress? First off, subscribe if you love football too. Optimism around the Kentucky Wildcats football team this season is building, and much of that confidence stems from the solid situation Mark Stoops has built in the quarterback room. With the 2024 season just around the corner, focus is increasingly shifting to the offense, particularly under the new leadership of Bush Hamdan as offensive coordinator. It's undeniable that quarterback performance will be crucial to the team's ambitions, and fortunately, Stoops seems more than satisfied with the options at his disposal. The arrival of new faces in the QB room has brought a renewed energy, something Stoops did not hesitate to acknowledge. The presence of Brock Vandagriff, Gavin Wimsatt, Cutter Boley, and the return of Bo Allen form a diverse and talented group, each with unique skills that can be tapped into as the season progresses. In his recent statements, Stoops made it clear that, unlike past seasons, he sees depth and quality in the team's most critical position. "I really feel good about them," stated Stoops, in a tone reflecting confidence and satisfaction. The coach did not shy away from praising all four quarterbacks, emphasizing that any one of them could lead the team if necessary. "Absolutely no criticism of anyone who's been here before, but as a group, the four guys we have, I have a lot of confidence. It's a really good group." This statement is significant, especially considering the recent history of the quarterback position during Stoops' era at Kentucky. There have been moments of inconsistency and challenges that often frustrated the team's aspirations. However, the current QB room appears to represent a shift from that pattern, offering a mix of experience, young talent, and growth potential. Stoops also highlighted the importance of having multiple reliable options, something that not only provides security in case of injuries, but also allows the team to maintain a high level of performance, no matter who is on the field. He emphasized, "With the portal, sometimes when you have guys, other guys leave, and that leaves you thin. I feel we're in a really good situation with the quarterback room. I really do. I just told them that I have confidence in all of them." Depth at the quarterback position is not just a competitive advantage, but also reflects the success of Stoops and his staff in recruiting and managing the roster. The ability to attract high-caliber transfers like Van Dagriff, while also developing homegrown talents like Boley, is a testament to the program's evolution under Stoops' leadership. Even with changes in offensive coordination, Kentucky has positioned itself well, not just for this season but for the near future. The 2024 campaign will be a real test of fire, and all eyes will be on the Wildcats' offensive performance when they take the field against Southern Miss at Kroger Field on August 31st. However, Stoops' confidence in his quarterback room already offers a promising glimpse of what's to come. Kentucky has always been a defensive powerhouse under Stoops' command, and now, with a quarterback room that combines talent and depth, there are reasons to believe that the offense can finally match the level of excellence that the defense has demonstrated. The BBN hopes this will be the season when all elements align, and the team can compete at a high level both offensively and defensively. I hope this team will be victorious too. The arrival of Jamon Dumas-Johnson at Kentucky Wildcats marks a significant milestone for Mark Stoops' defense, which over the years has established itself as one of the most robust and consistent units in the SEC. With experience from playing at one of the country's most respected programs, the Georgia Bulldogs, Dumas-Johnson brings not just talent but a winning mentality and a deep understanding of what it takes to succeed at the highest level of college football. Since taking the helm in Lexington, Mark Stoops has done an exemplary job building a defense that not only competes but exceeds expectations season after season. Stoops' formula has been clear: recruit exceptional talents and, more importantly, develop them to their fullest potential. The list of linebackers who have come through Kentucky under his supervision is impressive, with names like Avery Williamson, Jamin Davis, and DeAndre Square, all leaving their marks on the program. With the addition of Dumas-Johnson, this tradition looks set to continue. Dumas-Johnson, who transferred to Kentucky after 3 successful seasons in Athens, arrives in Lexington with a reputation of being one of the nation's top linebackers. His decision to join the Wildcats after a brief stint in the transfer portal is a testament to the appeal of Stoops' program to elite players. Dumas-Johnson's ability to stand out in a talent-saturated Georgia defense is a clear indicator of his potential to make an immediate impact at Kentucky. Last season, Dumas-Johnson faced challenges due to an injury that limited his playing time. However, his performance over the 38 games he participated in throughout his college career speaks for itself. With 126 tackles, including 17 tackles for loss and 9.5 sacks, he consistently demonstrated his ability to be a playmaker on defense. Even more impressive is his skill at pressuring the quarterback, which will be vital for the Wildcats' success in a conference where the battle in the trenches often decides games. The pairing of Dumas-Johnson with veteran Derrick Jackson promises to be one of the most formidable linebacker duos in the SEC. While Jackson is known for his versatility, capable of covering passes and defending against the run, Dumas-Johnson brings a physical presence that can completely transform the dynamics of Kentucky's defense. With his experience in complex defensive systems and his ability to lead by example, he is expected to not only perform his role but also act as an extension of the coaching staff on the field. For Kentucky, his arrival could not have come at a better time. With the 2024 season on the horizon, the Wildcats are positioned to make noise in the SEC, and Dumas Johnson's impact could be the deciding factor that elevates this team to the next level. As Mark Stoops and his coaching staff prepare for another challenging campaign in the SEC, the addition of a talent like Dumas Johnson could very well be the piece that turns good seasons into great achievements. But before that, there's work to be done in Lexington, and Wildcats fans have every right to be optimistic about what the future holds. And speaking of Deone Walker, who has established himself as one of the pillars of the Wildcats' defense and is now widely recognized as one of the top 10 defenders in college football. Walker, who had already been attracting attention from top analysts and scouts across the country, received a new significant distinction by being ranked as the 10th best overall defender by Grant Hughes of 247 Sports. This ranking is not just a testament to Walker's raw talent, but also to the Kentucky coaching staff's ability to transform promising high school prospects into college football stars. Since arriving in Lexington, Walker has been a formidable force on the Wildcats' defensive line. He came to campus as a four-star prospect with a lump of clay aspect, a raw talent waiting to be shaped. And shaped he was. Walker's evolution since then has been nothing short of impressive, reflected in his numbers from last season where he racked up 7.5 sacks and 12.5 tackles for loss, earning first-team All-SEC honors from the Associated Press. These numbers highlight not only his ability to break through opposing offensive lines, but also his consistency in playing a crucial role at key moments of games. For a defense that prides itself on its depth at all positions, having a leader like Walker on the defensive line is a huge strategic advantage. And this is important for this team. With several award watch lists already highlighting his name, including a potential top 10 pick in next spring's NFL draft, Walker is at a pivotal point in his career. The 2024 season is not just a chance for him to solidify his position as one of the top defenders in college football, but also to show NFL scouts that he is ready to compete at the next level. And how will this go? At the end of the video, I want to hear your opinion. Mark Stoops sees growth, depth with offensive line. I like that group. Coach Mark Stoops has good reasons to be optimistic about the Kentucky Wildcats' offensive line this season. The hard work and strategic changes implemented during the offseason are starting to bear fruit, and Stoops is confident that his offensive line is ready to reclaim the prominent role it once played. In recent years, Kentucky's offensive line has been held together, often with challenges related to discipline and talent, resulting in a line that, despite its efforts, failed to reach the level of excellence expected in a program that aims to compete at the highest level of the SEC. This scenario led to a necessary change in coaching leadership, with the arrival of assistant Eric Wolford, known for his ability to revitalize and strengthen offensive units. His experience and vision have been crucial in starting a rebuild that seemed inevitable. Wolford brought not only a new approach but also new talent, with the additions of Jalen Farmer, Gerald Mincey, and Anthony Creese, players who have come to revitalize the offensive line. Alongside returning veterans like Eli Cox, Cortland Ford, and Marquez Cox, these players form the backbone of a unit that, in Stoops' own words, is showing significant growth. During fall camp, Kentucky's offensive line went almost unnoticed, which, in the world of football, is usually a good sign. The lack of news often means that the unit is functioning as it should, avoiding sacks, tackles for loss, and allowing the team's playmakers to do their job. This is a welcome change after seasons where the offensive line was often mentioned for the wrong reasons. Mark Stoops, in his recent statements, expressed renewed confidence in the offensive line, highlighting the evident progress and depth that has been built. "I definitely feel there is growth," Stoops stated, emphasizing the unit's evolution. "I feel that we have more depth than we've had. They are more physical, as you would expect. We need to keep working, but I like this group and I like their growth." This optimistic outlook is shared by the players themselves, especially by Eli Cox, one of the leaders of the offensive line. Cox, who has witnessed firsthand the changes and developments since spring, is convinced that the group is in a much stronger position than in previous seasons. "I think we have a really talented group. This is one of the deepest offensive line rooms we've had in a long time," said Cox. His words reflect a confidence that was not as present in previous seasons, a testament to the impact of the new additions and Woolford's leadership. The arrival of Woolford, although initially surrounded by some controversy, seems to have been a positive change for Kentucky's offensive line. Cox mentioned that working together with the coach since spring was crucial for accumulating the experience and repetitions needed to enter the season with confidence. "I'm very confident with this group going into the year," added Cox, signaling that the offensive line is ready to face the challenges ahead. In this context, Mark Stoops' optimism is not unfounded. The combination of experienced veterans and promising youngsters, guided by a coach with a proven track record of success, suggests that the Kentucky Wildcats might be about to turn the page on their offensive line, leaving past problems behind and paving the way for a successful season. What will this season bring? Now it's time to hear your opinion.